Hello people, this is Moffatt Kharischangeworks, guys, hope you are well. Another little short video in connection with the sub-series on the indicators of whether you are in a toxic relationship or not. Here we go. The narc. Have you noticed that they will always, and very often, if not always, withhold affection? Consider this. We are all emotional beings. We all want love and affection and compassion and maybe a little bit of understanding. We all need these emotional positive strokes in life, because then we know that we exist, we mean something to someone. We are appreciated. We feel wanted, and we have this sense of belonging. And if we go through the old Maslow hierarchy thing, you understand exactly where I'm coming from. If we look at this, by withholding affection, what are they actually saying to you? Emotionally, you mean nothing to me. Why are you such a baby in wanting affection? Why should I give you any affection? After all, you are just there to feed my desire to control. My need to control, the lust that I have for control, this power that you give me, that's what you are worth. So if I have to give you any kind of emotional affection, it simply means that you are weak. And I'm not prepared to do this. So in order to maintain this control, all I'm going to do is withhold affection in your life. That is the general narc attitude. And what I found in practical life is, whenever affection is shown, there's always a hidden agenda behind it. Even though they might say there isn't, the fact of the matter is, there always is. The narc will never give you affection without some kind of payback, because that's how they work. They do nothing to help you. They will do everything to help them. So if you find yourself in a situation where you do not have the emotional connection with someone, this strokes, as they say in psychology, if you don't get those strokes, chances are, and then when you do, and you don't comply to the narc's little demands, I've only done this because, that kind of thing. Ask yourself, is this an indicator? Maybe. How's this? When you enter a narc relationship and you don't know that you are in a toxic relationship, have you noticed that you justify their poor behavior, their poor attitudes, their poor way of existing? As soon as you start justifying, even though you know intellectually, emotionally and psychologically, I would even go as far as to say spiritually, that what they're doing is wrong. However, you feel compelled to justify what they're doing. Maybe that's a way of them controlling you, but you are justifying their poor behavior. Because you see, initially you might say, well, I love this person. They're just having a bad day. They've had a hard time over these last few weeks or maybe months. They can't help how they're feeling. I don't know so much. Sure, there are times where people do go through tough times. Absolutely. And sometimes there's things in people's lives that are difficult. Absolutely. But as soon as you justify petty, less important stuff, maybe the more serious ones, and maybe the ultra serious ones, they are more easily to understand and get your head around. But when you start looking at bad language or poorer attitudes, ask yourself this question: is this an indicator? Could this be a qualifier? Sure, everybody needs reassurance, everybody needs support, everybody needs understanding. Absolutely, these are the fundamentals in life. Everybody needs this in order to survive and be part of some kind of relationship that is healthy. Now, I'm all for healthy relationships, don't get me wrong. However, but when you are noticing bad behavior, things that go against the grain of your beliefs, your identity, your convictions, and then you compromise to justify them, be serious in your questioning when you ask that important question. How about this one? You are free to go wherever you want, but in your mind and in your heart, it feels like you are treading mud in a big swimming pool called life. And you feel incredibly stuck and you're tired because you're getting nowhere, but you're exerting a lot of energy and effort and time to try and move forward, but something's holding you back. But yet, physically you can go wherever you want. Sometimes. And this feeling of stuckness is something that the narc has got these unseen elastic bands and restraints on you in order to simply control you, whether it be psychologically, financially, sexually, certainly emotionally. Make no mistake. So the minute you find that you have dreams and aspirations, but there's always a reason why you can't, why you're not allowed to. We've got other priorities to attend to. Not at this moment in time, so and so, because such and such. When you start hearing these kind of excuses filtering through in your conversation, then maybe you need to ask yourself ask this question: is this an indicator? Chances are, who knows? Do you feel stuck? Why? Here's another one. You come back from work and you're absolutely shattered. And you decide you're going to go to the gym, go for a walk, go for a bike ride. And you come back and you get this: whilst you were having fun, I had to do such and such. What kind of partner are you to me? While you're gallivanting, I'm slaving away. And for that, your reward is silent treatment and being made to feel guilty. I know that one very well. Very well. Where your reward for doing something that is constructive and useful for the family is then being turned and twisted into a weapon that makes you feel guilty because you're trying to do the right thing. Pay attention to this one. It is a classic technique that the toxic person in your life will play to keep you under the thumb, so to speak. And let's be fair and let's be honest here for a bit. When you are feeling guilty for doing the right thing, I think that question has to be seriously asked to yourself. Am I? What about this one? You lose who you are. Your identity is like a ghost. It's a vapor. You no longer know what you believe in. You no longer know what your convictions are. You no longer know what your belief systems are. The things that is written in your moral code has now become so blurred. And what I found is the things that I used to believe in seem to become less important. Even to the degree that the things that I truly believed in and run my life by in terms of conviction actually became so non-important that the things that I also believed in for a negative reason So therefore, the things that I tried to avoid, they became so important that I was driven to fulfill those agendas rather than the ones who I truly am. When you lose your identity, you have got to ask yourself, who are you? You see, as soon as you lose your identity, the knock has won, because they hollowed you out as a person. They've hollowed you out maybe emotionally and psychologically and sexually. That's what they want. So you don't know who you are. And if you are in that situation, I'm going to ask you this really tricky question, and it is this. Who are you more than just your name? Who are you more than just your title? Who are you more than just your gender? I can go on, but the thing is, who are you more than just your? And then you can add anything else after that. That is a means for you to try and reconnect with you, find out who you truly are. And if you find out that the real you is nowhere near where you are actually, emotionally speaking, in terms of spatial orientation, not physical, but mental and psychologically and spiritual, you've lost your identity. As far as I'm concerned, keeping your identity intact and strong is vitally important. Maybe these indicators are hitting home. Followed on from that is, have you realized that sometimes when you are being challenged on a particular issue and you know what to say, but you can't say it? It is as if your voice has been evaporated out of you. The communication from your head to your heart coming through your mouth has got on a detour. It's on a cul-de-sac. Doesn't matter. I came to the point where I couldn't even voice slight opinions because I was hollowed out that much. And when you've lost your voice, who's going to speak up for you? How can you ask for help when you have no voice? Now, I'm not saying that you've lost your voice, because everybody can speak. But when you've lost your identity, let me tell you now, you've also lost your voice, meaning you can't talk about who you are. You can't talk congruently with conviction who you are or what you're about. That's the agenda. Following from that, because you have no voice, you will do as you're told. And whatever you do is wrong. Whatever you do will never be right enough. And when you can't do right for wrong, chances are you need to ask yourself that very serious question. Because once you ask yourself that serious question, as you consider this little subsection in the Knox playlist, you have to ask yourself the question, what am I doing? Am I doing right? Maybe do a pencil or pen exercise here. What am I doing right? And get that trusted friend that is separate from the relationship that you are in and ask them their opinion. And get that stroke that you so desperately need and desire and absolutely would appreciate to give you that reassurance that you are still human. Maybe that is what you need. But as soon as what you do is wrong, regardless of the knowledge in your head that it is right, because you've been told that you are wrong. You remember the little illustration I gave where it feels like you're puddling in mud, you kind of pedaling and pedaling and pedaling, getting nowhere? That's a fantastic way of keeping you there. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this little sub-series. There's more. There's more. I hope this little sub-series has given you enough reason to ask, am I? Is so and so? And if the answer to your question is yes, then I'm going to encourage you to do something about it. Seek advice. Break away. Because believe me, when you break away, that is the only time where you'll be able to heal properly. Before that, trust me, you'll just continue to be hollowed out even more and more. You are effectively dead man walking. That is not a nice feeling to live by. I know what I'm talking about. So at this point, my friend, all I'm going to ask you to do is just the YouTube admin. You know what to do: the like, the share, the subscribe, the comments, the bell pickle. Please tell all your friends, please tell all your family about this particular channel. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. I'll speak to you soon.